What's up, guys? Barry Game here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we actually have a follow-up to this morning's Azrael, Lord of Death Azrael's abilities that we talked about. We actually have a little bit of backstory on the hero, and we actually have some recommendations as well as who the tenants are going to be. Now, one thing I will say about the tenants is the past, like, one or two times, the tenants have been a little wrong, but we'll see how this goes. They gave like a little bit of a preview on the English translation, but the English translation just never has all the information. This one, however, does. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk a little bit more because I'm really excited about this hero, mainly for things like Star Expedition, and we should have Star Expedition open when he's around. So this could get really, really interesting. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get going. Another thing we actually have is this nice little gif that kind of goes a little more into detail about his like idle animation. So he literally takes a bone from the ground, turns it into a flute, which then turns all the other bones into his wings. I don't even know how, because if you look, he's got no wings. You know what? He really looks like a Power Ranger. He looks like a Power Ranger or someone like that would be like an armor set you get in World of Warcraft. I don't know. Anyway, so we've already gone over his abilities. It does seem like they are heavily wanting to emphasize the Doomsday ability for him, and it makes sense because that does seem to be what is going to give him the most bang for his buck as a hero. There is a little bit of background in case for some of those who actually care about it. The source of all of these curses will definitely send him on the road with... Wait. These translations are weird, so let me... It takes a while for me to get used to the translating them because I know there's certain keywords that are supposed to be changed. So it says, there is a source for all of these curses, and I will definitely send him on the road with my own hands. For this, I need the power to end everything. A long time ago, there was an ambitious king who ruled a paradise, but the good times did not last very long, and the kingdom began to change. Wherever the king goes, he will bring disaster and destruction. In the end, the kingdom is also destroyed because the king unintentionally opened the connection with the void. The king who survived by chance was extremely remorseful. This experience became an eternal nightmare within his heart, tormenting his body and mind for endless years. I don't know when the strange dagger that appeared in his hand spoke to him, but it was an echo from the depths of the void, and it seemed to be close at hand. Is that talking about... Is that what they're talking about? No, because the flute goes away, right? Yeah, he chucks that away, and then he gets the two swords, so... Okay. I know who is the culprit of all of this. Do you want to atone for your country? The king stood up slowly. His spirit was already shaky. His appearance was already beyond recognition. But before that, we need to accumulate strength, then start from the beginning. The king readily agreed and charged with his twisted pride and to the other peaceful planet. So I'm guessing that means the idle continent. So I don't know how these stories really go for, like, I know there's lore for idle heroes and everything, but it's not like, it feels not very like continuous, so to speak. Like, because technically this should be the regular Azrael, but it almost makes it sound like it was a regular king of a country. I don't know, a little confusing. It is what it is. We've already talked about pretty much all of his abilities in the previous video, so we're not going to go over that, but there is some additional information. They are recommending him be used with specific heroes to kind of help boost him. Scarlet Queen Halora and Eos. I don't know why they would specifically kind of talk about these two, but it also says it is necessary to take into account the certain survivability he will need for the Blade of the End ability, which is his active ability, I believe. Yes. Azrael... Oh no, sorry, that's the translation. So it's basically saying it is necessary to take into account the survivability that he may need to ensure that his Doomsday ability is triggered at a sufficient number of layers so as to cause effective damage and kill. So I think what they're really talking about here is that last ability. What was the English translation of it? Phantom Shadow, when he... Because if you remember, let's just zoom back in. This is the one I think I want to talk about right here. So basically... during the existence of him and at the end of each round, he deals damage that ignores armor to all enemies, and of course that is modified by the number of like of actually, does it doesn't really get modified, does it? This is the part, the breath of death. Whenever a hero dies, he gets more layers and then he gets more damage. I guess when he's dead, it's not that big of a deal, which is interesting. But they do say, you know, they want him to try to get as many kills with that ability. Although there's a certain output and interference ability of death, how to effectively kill the enemy to continuously trigger and recover energy effect brought by the resurrection is key to getting him to succeed. So actually, again, where was that one again? It was over here. So I guess they're talking about this, where if an enemy dies, he keeps getting more and more energy, which may make him good in Aspen Dungeon. I don't know. It has potential. Any hero that can gain energy on enemy kills could be pretty good. Of course, that does mean his last one down here really doesn't take effect, because once you die in Aspen Dungeon. There's no one else on your team, but you know, it could be a cool ability and fun. We'll have to kind of see. So yeah, that's the two heroes they recommend. Of course, they recommend running him with speed and very offensive artifacts. I do think he can be more worthwhile not running with like defensive artifacts, but instead offensive ones, which kind of opens up a lot of different options. And of course, we have these tenants here. So having Eloise as the first tenant slot, that is amazing. Slot 2 is actually pretty good too. If you're going for multiple assassins, you want to go for Sword Flash first and then build him second. Annabelle will probably be a good choice, because at least Annabelle is required or really helpful in Sealand pushing for Shadow Faction. Even if you just have the Jara, a Jara with a bunch of Annabelles can get you Sealand 25 done. I'm sure adding him into the mix will make things easier. Natasha and Holmes Young is kind of like an iffy third slot overall, but Holmes Young really isn't that bad of a hero to have. And then the last one, Freya, she's the really good kind of like middle ground support hero. She can make your team dodge. She has these additional abilities she has. So it's like, it's a pretty decent overall household. So yeah, and additionally, the Azrael here is going to be the number 4 tenant slot for Sword Flash Shia, and the number 2 tenant slot for Fairy Queen, or not Fairy Queen, for Mystic Fairy Freya. Sorry, they call it Flower Fairy Freya. So is Mystic Fairy Freya. So essentially, yeah, it sounds like they're gonna be reciprocal. So Sword Flash for her tenants, he's gonna be 4th over here, and then for Mystic Fairy Freya, he's gonna be in the 2nd slot. So very interesting. We're getting a very expanded list of heroes that can go into different tenant slots with the additional Transcendence heroes. Overall, though, I think his Transcendence heroes are pretty solid. Having a Holmes Young account, not a bad idea. Natasha, not really necessary. I would go for the Holmes Young, but these are the heroes you need to be able to build for this next week if you're planning on making him one of your main heroes. And I think he might become my main like householder to test out. We'll just have to see how many origin levels we can give him at the same time. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys next time.